$3.23, $3.82. So just over a buck per liter if you compare to Canadian prices. And last time I fueled up in Saskatchewan, Canada, it was $1.19 per liter. So 20 cents per liter more, almost a dollar more per gallon. And of course, this is a Tesoro, so here I wasn't getting any discounts, but even without discounts, it was great. You know, it feels great to be able to buy quote cheap unquote diesel. And just to compare, before I fueled, I went online and I checked the prices for Fargo at Love's and petrol. And petrol was $3.89, and I get 3 cents discount there. But Love's was $3.88, and I think we get either 6 or 8 cents per off with Love's. Love's is great. So Love's is the same as here, but petrol is more expensive. So I got one side filled up, you know, one tank, about 90 gallons. So now I can start trucking. And I'm doing pretty well in terms of mileage. I only have 1,550 miles left to Pennsylvania. So you gotta be careful here. The speed limit is 25 miles per hour. And you saw just a cop pass me on going this way. So I plan to end up at the Flying J in Black River Falls. What is it? Wisconsin or Minnesota? You know, over there. The most difficult thing will be to cross St. Paul, Minnesota. That's one crazy city. Well, not crazy, but there's always traffic there, of course. Leaving the Highway 52, and I'm on the freeway to Fargo, 94. Last time I was on the freeway, it was in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Interstate 94 eastbound towards Fargo.
Many miles ago.
Keep right.
And it's 2 hours later. Fargo, North Dakota. The wind was unbelievable, all the way from Alberta. So hopefully it's going to stop. Usually it stops on the border with Minnesota, just a few miles down the road here. And the fuel is $3.88, so I would have paid $3.85 if I fueled here. So I didn't save much, you know, just 2 cents per gallon, but still, you know, $2. That's a free coffee. I mean, by fueling in Carrington. Why don't we park next to this nice looking 3-axle step deck? Wow. Yeah, this one has a lift axle. Mine is going to have all axles on the ground. Perfect. Right next to the truck stop. To the truck stop. Well, the machine is still on my bed. Check out how I use a chain at the bottom to tie down this bucket, and then I use this one, the strap, to hold it steady. I didn't put it on the floor because I would have to extend the boom. I don't know. It looks pretty good this way. And I had problems like that. Fire extinguisher fell off. I had to use the bungee cord, and that black box that has the manuals opened, and all the manuals fell out. Now I use my big chain, 3/8, because the machine weighs 20,000 pounds, and check out how I use the chains. I find this works really great. Basically you push them against the tire, so this chain goes this way, and and the chain here goes this way. So it stops the machine from rocking, and then, sorry for the wind, and then one more thing that happened was that that cover started flipping in the wind because the wind was so strong, so I had to put another strap, and I put a twist on each side, half a twist, to keep it from you know, moving too much. Normally I would put something in there in the middle, but there's hoses there, you know, there's hydraulic hoses. I don't want to mess with those. You break those and it's not good. Well, 1 hour flew by pretty fast. I'm just about to leave Fargo. Went across the street to Don's Brothers, picked up Americano, my only cup for the day, and then stopped on the way back at the petrol and got me some deviled eggs. You know, a bit probably too much fat, but at least there's no potatoes, no bread, you know. Protein and fat, perfect. In case you want to lose weight. And then got this. I was looking at this audiobook before, like the best entertainment on the road. And normally they are $9.99. And you have to check how many discs are inside, because some of these, you know, they feel light, and you look on the back and it says 3 discs, but the price is like $14. What the heck? I always buy at least 5. You know, I want to have at least 5 CDs inside, because that's like this one has 5 CDs abridged, but it's 6 hours. You know, that's beautiful. So that will be enough for me to listen to all day, basically. I have, what do I have, like 380 miles left for the day. I only did 2 hours of driving. And I saw this book before. I know this guy, Harlan Coben. He's a very good writer. I read some of his books, or I think it was an audiobook too. But the only thing that stopped me before from buying this, because I noticed here on the front it says, performed by the author. And in my experience, that's never a good thing, because you gotta be an actor to, you know, to read properly. Like, if you're a good writer, it does not mean that you'll be able to perform, and that's what's required. And few of these guys can actually they know how to, you know, how to act. Maybe this guy is different, I don't know. And the bad experience I had with an audiobook that was read by the author was surprisingly with the Goals, one of my favorite books, written by Brian Tracy, you know, a famous motivator, speaker, and you would think that the guy would know how to read, you know. No, of course he can read, but I mean, it was so boring, I was falling asleep, you know, like I just had to stop that audiobook. Like, the book of course reads great, about goals, you know, how to get ahead in your life, but the audiobook read by the author, never again. So I've been staying away from author-read books after that. Well, this is probably my first experience. We'll report later, but you know, you cannot beat the price, $6.99. So today is like my money savings day. First I saved $2 on diesel because I bought it in Carrington. Now I saved $3 on an audiobook. What's going on here? Alright, time to rock and roll. Oh, and one thing I wanted to mention, I'm really getting worried about my my clutch, you know. It's not that it makes all that noise, and people tell me, you know, oil it, grease it, but if I open the hood and show you, it's full of grease, you know, right where the pedal is, and the linkage on the other side of the firewall, it's full of grease. So the problem is not there. The problem, like that cat said, they said, the cat dealer in Cambridge, they said one of the parts there, one of the members of that linkage closer to the clutch was badly worn out. And what I started noticing recently, especially when I'm loaded, you know, of course I know my truck, right? So I release the clutch very gradually, like fast at first, when I know it's just a free play area, right? That zone where you know that the clutch does not engage, so I move it fast, but then when I know it's going to engage, I slow down and I release it real gradually, and still the truck just jerks, you know, like either have to adjust my clutch or maybe it's something with the linkage, I don't know. But the clutch, I got this famous, you know, LIPE, which is supposed to be the best. Back in, I got the truck in 07, I got that clutch when I was changing the horsepower rating of my engine. I think it was either 08 or 09. So it's only like 4 years old, you know. I don't think that's the problem with the clutch. It probably just needs adjustment or something. I don't know. Time to rock and roll. My first scale. This is Minnesota, just after Fargo. I don't know. I only have 20,000 pounds. Remember that metal tank? 60 feet long, overweight on the trailer axles. That didn't bother me too much. Now look what happens now. Turn lights on. Alright. Watch message board. Which message board? My cell phone? Stop. Move ahead slow. Alright. What did I say? Buck, bring in the papers. With a 20,000 pound machine. Unbelievable. And of course I got a ticket. With a 60-foot long metal tank, I had nothing. With 20,000 pound machine, I got a ticket. Well, it's not a ticket, it's you know, that unpleasant looking, well, very nicely typed, very cool looking piece of paper. But basically one warning. It says here, yeah, warning, no citation. She didn't like that I always show my, you know, after I shut down on my logbook, I show off. Because, you know, everybody said it was the same. I've been doing it like that since 2005. You know, when I shut down, I show off time. And she says, why don't you show sleeper time? You know, when you off, it's okay when you, let's say, when you're home or we go to a hotel. But if you're in the sleeper, so she wants me to show. I said, what if I'm watching a movie on the sleeper bed? She says that's a sleeper time. So basically, as soon as you're over there in the sleeper, you have to show it as a sleeper. But if you're not in the truck, that's off, you know, like after work. So I got to start doing that. And then the second thing she said, this happened in Kansas. If you remember, if you watch my older videos, like 1 year ago, a guy asked me for a form called MCS 90. It's a proof of financial responsibility. It's part of an insurance packet. And basically, all international carriers require this when they enter US. Let's say a Mexican carrier, Canadian carrier, you must have that form in your truck. And it's not my responsibility, it's all provided by Landstar. So I said, can I use my cell phone in there? And they said, okay, yeah, sure. So I called safety, then they transferred me to risk management. I talked to like 10 people. And then finally, like Landstar Copper did not know where this form was and what kind of form it is. And finally they switched me to a lady that does permits, you know, like federal, you know, licenses and registration and the transponder for the customs. she orders all that, and she knew this form. And actually it's online, it's on our website. We have a whole bunch of forms. I can log in and print everything out, but I had no idea where it is, right? So she faxed everything, and actually the lady, actually she was very pleasant. The inspector, very nice, you know, very polite. Called me SERGEI, you know, pronounced everything correctly. Asked me about Russia, how Russia was, who's the current president. So I said, you know, I had a good time. I said, well, this is the most pleasant ticket I ever had, you know, because the lady was really pleasant, you know. So what do you do? Yeah, she said, no proof of financial responsibility. Lansta faxed the form. So I got the form, but she still had to mention it over here. But as I was standing there, I saw on the wall there was a plate, and it said mission statement. And I want to read you mission statement of the DOT, and here it's called Department of Public Safety. So the mission of the Department of Public Safety is to protect people and property in Minnesota through prevention, regulation, enforcement, information, and service. Protect people and property. Now I get a warning or ticket for not having a proof of financial responsibility form. I'm not quite sure how is that protects people of Minnesota. Basically, yeah, because I'm Canadian, this is a Canadian load, you know. I think it's all about, you know, paperwork. It's all bureaucracy. But at least I don't think I'll have to pay a fine or anything, you know. But now Lansta will probably switch me to e-logs for sure, because they said you get another warning or ticket about your logbooks, and we are switching you to electronic logs, and you'll have to pay for installation. I think it's like $500. So I don't. Well, she didn't find the lady didn't, the inspector didn't find anything wrong in my logbook, except she said at one point I was driving 70 miles per hour. According to my log, but I said, well, it's Canada, right? So like, I was driving fast in some places there because the speed limit is 68 miles per hour, you know, and there's wind. So what do you do? So, all right, so I spent 1 hour and 45 minutes here. That's where you lose time. So now I still have to do 380 miles. Unbelievable. And that's what the inspection station looked like. Very nice, you know, nice colors, all concrete, you know. Beautiful. I've done some shopping here at Walmart. Something that I can eat, something healthy. So what I got is blackberries, $3.49 or something. I got some feta cheese, crumbled. I got my Power Cocktail, egg whites. This one here is almost, what, like 50 grams of protein. And last but not least is green cabbage. Because it's real easy to pull off those leaves, actually. Wait a second. Cabbage. I don't know, are we allowed even to carry cabbage in a commercial truck? So, where do you check? You check in the federal safety regulations. I think it was paragraph, yeah, 3.3 applicability. Okay. Yeah, they say cabbage over 6 inches is not allowed inside the cab of a commercial vehicle. Now this one here is only 5, so I'm okay.